Frank, the Frankenstein from Hotel Transylvania, is one of the franchise's most charismatic and beloved characters. With his laid-back humor and loyalty to his friends, he's often seen as a simple, good-natured monster, a good friend who's always ready to help and make people laugh. But what if Frank is more than he appears? What if, behind this friendly giant, there's a complex mind, formed by fragments of various people, each with their own memories and emotions? To better understand this theory, it's interesting to remember how the figure of Frankenstein emerged in popular culture. Inspired by Mary Shelley's classic, Frankenstein has become synonymous with a creature assembled from pieces of different people's bodies. In the original work, the monster represents the darkest and most complex dilemmas between life and death, identity and rejection. This mythical foundation is essential for understanding our Hotel Transylvania's Frank. What makes Frank at the hotel so unique is his surprisingly human and affectionate side, showing an empathy that feels natural, not artificial. He's not just a monster created to scare, but someone who feels, cares, and displays a variety of emotions. What if this is a reflection of the memories and feelings of the people who compose him? After all, if he's made up of parts of different people, it's possible these fragments retain traces of their consciousness, subtle remnants of who they once were. This is the central idea of shared consciousness, the theory that each part of Frank carries small fragments of memories and personality traits from the original humans, creating a fusion of identities. Imagine the complexity of that. For Frank to be himself means actually coexisting with various influences that may manifest in his thoughts and emotions, and even in moments when he reacts unexpectedly. With that in mind, with each laugh and each funny line from Frank, the question arises: is he a single being, or a true mosaic of past lives? If this theory is true, how could we recognize the traits of the different people that make up Frank? Throughout the Hotel Transylvania films, there are subtle moments where his behavior seems to reflect this complexity. From his emotional reactions to certain quirks and mannerisms, we can see signs that Frank may carry more than a single personality within him. An interesting example is Frank's affectionate and friendly behavior. He shows a care and compassion that seem almost instinctive, as if it's natural for him to comfort and protect his friends. This trait could be a remnant of a kind and loving person who, in life, had great empathy for others. In contrast, there are moments when Frank reacts nervously or with a bit of impatience, as if part of him harbors a more sarcastic and impetuous personality. These changes in behavior can be seen as evidence of a combination of different traits and memories. Additionally, Frank exhibits a strong inclination for comedy, able to laugh at himself and the situations around him. This sense of humor may be a reflection of yet another personality that had a lighter and funnier approach to life. In the films, there are scenes where he seems to disconnect from reality for a moment, appearing confused or distracted, as if he were lost in some thought or memory from another life. The theory of body memory suggests that experiences and emotions are recorded not only in the brain but also in the body itself. Research indicates that traumas and memories can manifest in physical reactions, like instinctive reflexes. Now imagine if each piece of Frank retains a bit of the life it once had. Thus, Frank's body would be a sort of archive of these past experiences. In Frank's case, certain involuntary behaviors might be remnants of physical memories. Perhaps his arms and legs, which could have belonged to different people, still carry the reflexes of who they once were. An interesting example of this is Frank's exaggerated reactions in moments of tension or surprise, as if part of his mind and body remembered experiences of fear or danger. These gestures and reactions suggest that Frank may carry fragments of memories from these past lives, creating a complex web of emotional and physical responses. This raises another question. Does Frank at some level feel that he is not a single person but rather a true mosaic of memories and emotions? The idea that Frank is made of various parts, each with its own memories and emotions, makes us think about the fragmentation of identity. Psychologically, he is a fusion of different personalities that together form a complex whole, but perhaps not fully integrated. Each piece of Frank could be seen as a fragment of individual identity, coexisting with other fragments and influencing his actions and reactions. This condition could be compared to certain psychological disorders in which a person exhibits multiple identities or personalities. Although Frank doesn't show radical changes in behavior, he certainly displays a unique combination of characteristics. Sometimes he's brave and protective, while in other situations, he's more insecure and hesitant. These contrasts suggest that he may internally experience the influences of distinct personalities. He may not be aware of this, but his emotional complexity and sarcastic sense of humor could be a way of accommodating these different voices within him. Thus, the character becomes a metaphor for the struggle to form a cohesive identity, a quest to understand who he truly is amidst so many divergent influences. This approach adds an emotional layer to the character, showing that despite his strength and size, he may face doubts and uncertainties about his own essence. For Frank, living with shared consciousness could mean carrying, even unknowingly, the emotions and memories of several other people. This might create a sense of confusion or even nostalgia for places and moments he never lived, but that his pieces may remember. This mosaic of memories is reflected in his multifaceted personality. Frank is protective, generous, and affectionate, but he is also prone to insecurities and impulses that seem contradictory. This complexity may be what brings him so close to his friends in Hotel Transylvania. With Dracula and the other monsters, Frank finds a space where he can be accepted for who he is, without judgment, and where he doesn't have to deal with the pressure of being just one thing. Among them, he can be that unique Frank, made up of various parts, but finding comfort and identity in this group. Perhaps deep down, he realizes that his impulses and memories aren't entirely his own. This would explain his strong sense of empathy and his inclination to protect others. After all, on some level, Frank understands what it means to carry distinct lives and memories, and therefore acts as a bridge of connection among the hotel's monsters. The theory of shared consciousness transforms Frank, the Frankenstein of Hotel Transylvania, into a much more complex character than he appears to be. Each part of his body could carry fragments of memories and personality traits of the people that compose him, which explains his multifaceted behavior, sometimes affectionate, sometimes sarcastic, and even confused. In the end, Frank is a true fusion of various lives and experiences, making him a mosaic of identities in search of cohesion. He may never know exactly who he is, but at the hotel with his friends he finds a place where he can simply be Frank. If you enjoyed this theory about Frank and want to see more content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And make sure to click on the next video that will appear on the screen to keep exploring new theories and secrets from the world of animation. See you there!